Thank you for joining us here at Lowry Sports Rhetoric. I am your host, Nathan.
And I'm Daimon.
And today we are going to continue in the AFC South with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last year, 2021, they went 3-14. They were fourth in the AFC South, and they did not make the playoffs.
And they had a lot of drama surrounding their team.
Lots of drama. They were 27th in yards offensively, 32 in points offensively. Those are rough numbers. 20 in yards allowed defensively, and 28 in points allowed. Just not good all around. The GM is Trent Baalke. He had 1 year. Last year was his first year. Not a whole lot you can really even say about that because...
Well, he hired Urban Meyer and then he fired Urban Meyer.
It was a mess. Coach is now Doug Peterson. Yes. Doug Peterson from Philly was his last job. He didn't have a job last year as a head coach. But he replaces Urban Meyer, who was a mess. I actually have the note written down here. Was a mess. Urban Meyer... Go ahead. I say Urban Meyer is a guy who obviously was very successful in college, but man, when he came to the pros, he really, really messed up.
But can we just say this? So Urban Meyer was a guy whose locker room appeared to not like him.
At all.
And really kind of celebrated when he left.
Yeah.
Do you know who last year's version of that was?
Huh.
Doug Peterson.
I mean, really. Look.
The Doug Peterson thing was so bad that Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz went, if you want me to stay, then you have to get rid of him. And they chose to get rid of them both.
Yeah.
That's how bad that was.
Yeah. Look.
And the locker room didn't appear to be sad. He won a Super Bowl with these guys, and they appeared to be excited when he was gone. I'm not sure why you would hire him.
Me neither, because you're the Jaguars.
Apparently.
Look, I'm sorry, Jaguars fans. We're going to get into this a little bit, but this is not a good coaching hire. And I don't like Doug Peterson. I don't think he's a good coach.
Look, he hates you guys. He hates you Jaguar fans. He does. He hates you. He thinks you're obnoxious. He thinks that you're...
I especially hate the fact that you guys beat us.
He hates the fact that the only thing you did worthwhile last year was beat them. And the year before, too.
I mean, it's really ridiculous.
He hates it more than anything.
It's true.
So he hates you.
Yeah.
But he's also right. This was a terrible hire, and I don't understand it at all.
I actually thought Urban Meyer might not be that bad of a hire, and I think a lot of people did think that, but man, did that blow up, dude.
The Urban Meyer thing was a bad hire. That screamed... I mean, I don't know. I was so sick of that from the jump. This seems like an even worse hire to me. I mean, he's... Anyway, we talked before...
Recycle garbage.
We talked before about the Colts video. Right now, in the Colts video, in my opinion, Andy Reid coaching tree, suspect. And this is suspect numero uno.
Yeah, seriously.
He seems like the I don't even know. He's just doesn't appear like he's a good head coach. And I don't know why you would go that route. Of all the other options out there, I just do not understand why you go that route. Okay. Now, didn't they try to hire... If I remember right, they tried to hire somebody else and they backed out, right?
I think that they tried to bring Leftwich.
Yeah, Leftwich.
Which, I mean,
former Jag.
And I think he's got a lot of high upside as a coach. We'll have to see how that all plays out eventually.
And you know what? He decided that this GM is not the one.
It's just not the place for me.
He said, "Let's wait. I'll wait till you're fired, and the next GM introduced me to take this job."
Because Doug Peterson, let's face it, is probably going to be a year in and done.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying the GM.
I know. I'm just saying,
I don't know this for sure. But I have a suspicion based on, and we'll talk about it more when we talk about free agency. I have a suspicion that maybe this GM's not long for the job.
Yeah. Okay. So free agent additions. Christian Kirk, wide receiver.
Way overpaid.
Yeah. Out of the Chiefs. He is. It was the Chiefs, right? I wrote down Jags, which obviously isn't correct.
No, Cardinals.
Cardinals. Thank you very much. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Speed guy, stretches the field, good in the slot. They paid him like he was a number one wide receiver. He's not a number one receiver.
He is a good wide receiver, not worth the money that they paid him.
Yes, I like Christian Kirk. No knock on him. In fact, would have loved for the Bears to sign him for about 2/3 of what
it's crazy.
You guys signed him for.
I mean, literally they just threw money at everything. It was ridiculous. All right,
that's not good GMing. In case you're wondering, when you're one of the worst teams in the league, way overpaying for mediocre free agents is not a way to get better, not sustained success. I mean, so maybe they'll win 5 games next year instead of 3.
Right.
And technically they will have gotten better. but they're still going to suck.
Anyways. Brandon Scherf, guard from Washington. I think this is a good bring-in.
Probably, probably upgrade. I think they were paying him too, though, if I remember right.
Yeah, but, it's good to bring him in. You got to protect that quarterback of yours. All right, Foyesad Alakan, linebacker out of Atlanta. I'm sure I messed that name up. I don't really know a lot about him. We say this in every video when I talk about players that came from Atlanta. They were just so off the radar last year. It was not fun to watch them play, and so I don't know a whole lot about their crew. I don't know much about him. So Darius Williams, cornerback out of the Rams. Could be a decent player. The Rams have a high end cornerback play, high end whole backs. So I think even this is a team where even if you got a guy that was depth, he might end up being a decent player for you. But I don't know much about him either. So Foley Fatukisa, defensive tackle out of the Jets. Again, I don't know much about the guy. I don't know. Zay Jones, wide receiver out of Vegas.
Another overpay.
Again,
overpaid for him.
All right, now we have Evan Ingram, tight end out of the Giants.
Another overpay.
It is, but it's a good addition to a team.
Overpay.
It is, but here's the deal: is their tight end room was so bad. They tried to make Tebow a tight end. I love Tim Tebow, but anyways.
Oh, that didn't work out.
Insane! The whole thing was insane last year. It really was. What a joke. Sorry, Jags fans. I don't mean to shit all over you, but
yeah, he does. He loves it. He loves it.
All right, Arden Key, defensive end out of San Francisco, and then Wyatt Ray, defensive end out of Cincinnati.
Again, these are good, above-average players, but they paid them like they're stars, and this is the problem.
Yeah,
they had too much money to spend, and they spent too much of it. The opposite of what we were talking about with your guy, where your guy spent 3 years spending that money to build a team. They just went out and splashed a bunch of money at
And are they ready to win?
No, no, they're not. Let me answer that question. They're not ready to win.
They're not ready to win.
They're not ready to win.
Anyways, free agent losses. You got Miles Jack, inside linebacker to Pittsburgh, who I think had
they should have re-signed him.
Huge upside.
I like Miles Jack.
I like Miles Jack too, and this is, I think, a consistent theme that you see. We talked about in the Colts video with Ngagwe a couple years ago. Was such a good player, and he wanted out. He was like, I just don't even want to be here. You got, what's his name?
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey. Literally the best player at that position in the entire league, probably. He just pushes himself out. The Jaguars are a hot mess, and they can't stop being a hot mess because these guys don't want to stay for them. So, Andrew Norwell, guard to Washington. DJ Shark, wide receiver that went to Detroit. I feel like this guy has so much upside. He's a good wide receiver. I think he's going to be great for Detroit. And again, it's just another example of them not being able to hold on to good players. AJ Khan, guard, went to Houston. Their line was a mess. I can't imagine any of these guys being good. Damian Wilson, outside linebacker, went to Carolina. Tavon Bryan, defensive tackle, went to Cleveland. Dare Ogunbowale, running back, went to Houston. Jihad Ward, defensive end, went to the Giants. I actually think he had some upside as well. Jacob Hollister, tight end, went to Vegas. Their tight end, there's no way he was good. I'm just saying, he's not. All right, Trevon Austin, wide receiver, went to Buffalo. Buffalo's actually really excited for this guy. He didn't do much for the Jags, but
isn't this the same one that was on the Rams?
Yeah, I think so.
This dude's been in the league forever. He's never done anything.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Buffalo's excited about him, I guess, as a whatever. James Ashingnazi, tight end, went to Chicago. I'm sorry, Damon. I just don't feel like these are good players, but depth.
He's our fifth tight end.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was probably their starter last year. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, Dakota Allen, linebacker, went to Cleveland. All right, these are their losses. Overall, I feel like their losses outweigh their gains. Maybe not value-wise, though. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know that their losses and their gains matter. I would say this. I think they improved.
For a lot of money.
But they overspent to do it, and that's not a recipe for long-term success in my book. So I don't think it was smart overpaying.
All right, we have trades. There was no trades. The draft, round one, number one, you've got Trevon Walker, defensive end out of Georgia. I feel like he's a good player. I'm not sure that he was worthy of the number one position. There was better players that would have better impacted their team with Aiden Hutchinson, and what was the other guy that was talked about? Like even like Sauce Gardner. I think I would have been happy with. Anyways, the point is, he's a good player, and I'm sure that he will add to your team. There's no doubt about it. But is he worthy of that number one? I really don't think so.
Now, this next pick, though, was really good where they picked him. This was a value pick.
Round 1, number 20, Devin Lloyd, inside linebacker out of Utah. My favorite player in the draft. He was one of my favorite players last year in college football, period. I absolutely love his motor. I love how he plays. Watching Utah in the Pac-12, he stood out so much, and I think this was great. Honestly, in the offseason, I think this is the best thing that they did. So, I loved him. Round 3, number 65, Luke Fortner, center out of Kentucky. I mean, again, I like this pick. I like it. I think that they did a good job in the draft here. I really do. Round 3, number 70, Chad Muma, inside linebacker out of Wyoming. Again.
Gets compared to Urlacher.
Look, so far, I mean, the draft was good. The draft
was really nice.
The draft was good.
This is what makes their free agency even more puzzling, though, right? Like, you got a good draft. Why go out and overspend a bunch of money on guys? Like, draft well this year, draft well next year. Like,
yeah, because you're not ready to win yet. You have a young quarterback. We'll talk about him more, but it's like, I agree with you. I think that they overpaid thinking that they were in some kind of a position to improve, and they're just not going to improve. But, like, what, 2 games? I mean, anyways. Round 5, number 154, Snoop Connor, running back out of Ole Miss. I got to be honest with you, don't know a whole lot about him.
Yeah. He's decent. He's solid. He's not one of my... I mean, there was a lot of good running backs in this draft, and I don't know that I would put him...
Even in round 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably other guys drafted after him that are better than him, honestly.
I agree. All right, round 6, number 197, Gregory Jr., cornerback out of Ouachita Baptist. I know nothing about this guy. Round 7, number 222, Monteric Brown, cornerback out of Arkansas. Again, just depth here. All right, let's go ahead and get into their starters. First, you have Trevor Lawrence. He was a rookie last year. Okay, he had 3,641 yards. When you compare that to a lot of the other rookies, those are good. That's good yardage. 12 touchdowns. He had 17 interceptions. He had another 334 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm going to let you go ahead and speak on how you feel about Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, so I've felt this way about Trevor Lawrence for a while now. I'm a Florida State fan. He went to our rival Clemson. If you want to think that this is biased, you can do so. That's fine. I have a thing where I feel like there was John Elway, Peyton Manning, and Andrew Luck were 3 quarterbacks that from the time they set foot on a college campus, everyone knew they were going to be elite level pros. And Andrew Luck, had it not been for the injuries, I think would have been. Those are the guys in my time of watching sports that are on another level as far as, you know, from the time they left high school till the time they retired, they were high level. The way people talk about Trevor Lawrence is he should be the next in line for that. I don't see it. I think he's a good quarterback. I question how much he loves the game. I don't think he likes to be hit, which I think is a problem for a quarterback. I've seen him take shots and get up. I know. Okay, go ahead and tell me in the comments. I remember this game. I've seen it too, but I don't think he liked it. And I think there's times that he tries to avoid it. And I think this limits him. And I think if you're a Jaguars fan and you think you got the next Peyton Manning or the next John Elway, because that's how the media talks about him, I think you're going to be disappointed. If you think you got the next, I don't know what the right guy to compare him to is. You know, like I think he has a chance to be a very good quarterback. You know, maybe, yeah, I don't have a good comparison. Maybe Phillip Rivers. Maybe Phillip Rivers is a good one. Like a guy that's a good quarterback, but not that guy that can take a bad team to a Super Bowl.
Not Joe Burrow.
Not Joe Burrow. Right.
Yeah.
Not Aaron Rodgers. Not not Tom Brady.
Okay.
He's not one of those guys in my mind, but he's talked about like he will be, and I don't see it personally.
Okay. I'm higher on Trevor Lawrence than you are. I think that he has all the potential in the world to be a great quarterback. And my opinion is that he was surrounded by hot garbage. He's going to continue to be surrounded by hot garbage for at least a little while. We'll have to see how it all plays out eventually in his career. But at the moment, it looks like hot garbage. His coach last year, hot garbage. The situation he was in, hot garbage. I think Trevor Lawrence, especially like when you look at that game where they did beat us, the kid went off, man. I mean, he's got 3,641 yards. When you, like I said, when you compare that to a lot of these other rookies, I hear what you're saying that he is not, like he's not Elway, he's not Peyton Manning, he's
a lot
not
of picks, not a lot of wins.
Yeah, but Peyton Manning had a lot of picks his first year too.
Sure.
So I don't feel as hard on Trevor Lawrence as you do. I actually think he's got extreme upside.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I had that opinion of him.
I know you did.
In the Clemson days.
I know you did.
So it's not really based on the Jacksonville. The Jacksonville stuff maybe reaffirmed it a little bit in my mind. And again, I'm not saying he's garbage.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a terrible quarterback. I'm just saying he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not. I don't think he's Josh Allen. I don't think he's Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he's Joe Burrow. I don't think he's your boy, Herbert, however you say his name. I don't think he's any of those. I think he's the notch below those guys. And I think if you're Jacksonville, you think he's going to end up being, like he alone will take you to compete with those teams. You better hope that your GM does better things than overpay Christian Kirk in the future. Because I don't think, like that's the kind of thing you do when you have Peyton Manning or Tom Brady. You can afford to get away with that. Or Aaron Rodgers. You can afford to get away with that and still make the playoffs. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to be that guy. That's just my personal opinion. We'll find out.
Okay. Again, I disagree a little bit. I think he's going to be out. Yeah, I think he's going to be good.
Now, the next guy on the list, also a Clemson guy, complete opposite view.
Yeah.
This guy's a stud.
Travis Etienne Jr., rookie last year, but he was hurt the entire year. He hurt before the season even started. He had no stats. Agreed. I think that the dude is an absolute stud. I think this is
He's Marshall Faulk 2.0 to me.
I mean,
like
he's
he
going
can
to
do
make
all
a
the stuff that
difference.
Marshall Faulk did. I think he will be bananas.
Absolutely. And he, like you said, he can do all of it. He can do the receiving. He can do, I mean, they almost talked about turning him to a wide receiver. Anyways, whatever. But that was the whole Urban Meyer stuff. But
let's make our star running back a slot receiver.
And then Christian Kirk last year with the Cardinals, and I do have it written down here, unlike I had earlier. 77 receptions, 982 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Again, I agree with Damon's sentiment here. Good wide receiver, like really good, like especially as a slot. You know what I mean? Like not worth the money that they paid him. Just not worth it. We'll have to see how it plays out, and I'm sure he'll be a good addition to your team. But I just don't see that being the smart move, in my opinion. Wide receiver Marvin Jones Jr., 73 receptions, 832 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Again, very solid wide receiver. Wouldn't complain about him. Zay Jones, wide receiver out of the Raiders, 47 receptions, 546 yards, and a touchdown. They overpaid for him as well, and I would like to see...
I can't imagine why you would sign him and not spend a little... Like, DJ Chark to me is a much better player than Zay Jones. Why?
Maybe there was problems with Chark. Wanted out of there. Again, we talked about how
I guess that's true.
Want to leave this team. They don't want to stay on the team.
Valid point, but just in the glance, it looks like a weird look. It's a weird look that you let him walk. You don't pay him a little, just like a slight bit more than Zay Jones. Like he's much better than Zay Jones, in my opinion. I don't know.
Shark was good. Okay. Tight end Evan Ingram, 46 receptions, 408 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Their tight end group was terrible. We talked about that before. I think this is obviously an upgrade because anything would have been an upgrade almost.
It can be an upgrade, but again, I think if you look at his contract, you'll find that maybe they overpaid for him too.
It's possible. All right, so their starting offensive line projected. Left tackle Cam Robinson, left guard Ben Birch, center Luke Fortner, who is a rookie, right guard Brandon Scherf out of Washington, and then right tackle Jawan Taylor. I do think that they improved there. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that has the makings of a future good offensive line. Honestly,
sure.
Like I like the kid that they drafted. I like Cam Robinson. I was hoping the Bears would get in on Cam Robinson. I like him as an upside guy.
But again,
I think that's a solid. It's a solid line, but
I think
it's not
I think
enough.
when you look at the good players that they do have offensively, you are looking about time. Like it's going to be a little bit before these guys get together and do all this. And it's like, why are you spending so much money? Like you're some kind of a team that's ready to win. It doesn't.
I think they would have been a lot better served waiting, like looking for deals.
Yeah.
Waiting for the market to settle and then throwing some money at some veterans. And there's guys still out there right now. I guarantee you could have paid them a lot less than you paid some of these guys, and the talent's not that much different. I just really feel like it's a head scratcher, and I question how long the GM's going to be there. Go ahead, do the defense.
All right, left defensive end, we got Florenzo Fatukasi, 46 tackles out of the Jets. That's it, just 46 tackles. Anyways. Nose tackle, Devon Hamilton, 46 tackles, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery, and 2 pass deflects. Right defensive end, Roy Robertson Harris, 37 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 pass deflects. And then linebacker, Josh Allen, 71 tackles, 7.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interceptions, and 4 pass deflects. This is your player. Josh Allen's good. Okay. The left inside linebacker is going to be the rookie Devin Lloyd, who I think is going to blow people's minds. Stud. Right inside linebacker, Foyesade Olakan, 192 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 3 interceptions, and 6 pass deflects out of Atlanta. He had to have been about one of the best players in Atlanta.
And then Chad Muma also, who will play because he's good.
Look, so there is some additions here, okay, guys. And then linebacker Trevin Walker, obviously the rookie out of Georgia. They improved that. Okay, that's an improvement. They have improved on defense. Left cornerback Darius Williams, 71 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, and 9 pass deflects out of the Rams. Again, that's what I was saying. Like, look, a guy like this could be good on most teams and then still be a backup on the Rams. So you can be excited about that. Strong safety Rashawn Jenkins, 73 tackles, 3 pass deflects. Free safety Andrew Wingard, 88 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception, 1 pass deflect. And then right cornerback Shaquille Griffin, 49 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 7 pass deflects.
I mean, he's good.
Yeah.
Shaq Griffin's a good player.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, so I'm gonna say mixed remarks. I'm gonna say mixed signals for me. I like the draft. I like a few of the signings. Other signings I thought were terrible
value.
Not terrible players, terrible value. And at this point in the rebuild, why aren't you going for value? Like, it doesn't make sense. And then, like I said, I don't understand the coaching hire. So to me, I mean, I'm sorry. He loves shitting on you, Jacksonville. I don't necessarily love shitting on Jacksonville. I don't have a problem with you. But I feel like this is the worst offseason we've seen yet. For me. Just like when you combine the coaching hire, the spending money when you're not ready to spend, and then just I don't see the guy. You know, here's the thing. When you got a young quarterback, you want some guys on the defense. You let Matt go. Matt was the voice of your defense. There's a couple good players there, but who's the veterans? Who's got that locker room's ear? You know, you got a mess of a coach leaving. You got a mess of a coach coming in. Who's got that locker room's ear that can lead and say, enough BS, let's go win football games? Because I don't think that's Trevor Lawrence, at least not yet. And I think I don't see the guy on the defensive side that screams that. If you were going to overpay for somebody, overpay for that guy that can at least teach your young defensive players how to play.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, I just didn't like the way they went about their offseason. I think this is my least favorite offseason of all the teams we've done so far.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, like you said, look, there's small little things that they did that I liked a lot. Again, Devin Lloyd, I think, is going to be an absolute stud.
I love their draft. I really did.
So here's the thing, though, is that when we talk about this, and he had said, okay, this is so far the worst that we've seen in the offseason because all we've done is the AFC. I think when you get in the NFC, that might be a different story. But from the AFC perspective, unfortunately, Jaguars fans, your team plays in the AFC. They don't play in the NFC. So I think that this is still bottom of the rung. Maybe going forward there's some changes going on, and like in a few years maybe they start getting to be middle of the pack, but I don't see anything that projects them as being higher than, you're still going to get bottom of the rung picks. I mean, you're still going to be bottom of the rung. And, I mean, obviously from a Colts perspective, I like that. And I hope this is the year that we can actually beat you guys and we don't lose out and make to the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, I do like crapping all over the Jaguars fans with your clown masks and all of this, because it was a clown show. It really was. Maybe it's not a clown show this year, but it certainly ain't going to be a good show. So, thank you for giving us a watch. If you got anything out of this content, give us a like, give us a subscribe.
Hit them comments. Like, hey, come at us, bro. I want nothing more than a Jacksonville Jaguars fan to get in an argument with them. It would make my day.
I kind of wouldn't mind that
It
either.
would make my day. And hey, come at me with my Trevor Lawrence take. Come at me and tell me how he belongs on the level of those other guys that I mentioned, because I'll have that conversation too. We're all about conversation. We don't mind being proven wrong, maybe, but we like to hear other opinions, and we like to know what fans are watching us. So please let us know.
Okay. Thank you for giving us a watch, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.